So as of January 16th, Bichette is a New York Met. He ends up signing a 3-year deal for $126 million, but has an opt-out after both the first and the second year. This was due to the Kyle Tucker bombshell that we got Thursday night, where Tucker was offered he was offered a 4-year deal for $240 million, but has an opt-out for both the second and the third year. It seems that this is the way that contracts are moving in the MLB. It just seems like this is what they're doing. And honestly, I can't hate on it from a player's perspective, because why would you want to ink yourself to, these 10 to 13 year long deals where you're locked in on a certain amount of money every single year when you could just opt out and then try free agency again? And I've been saying this in general. MLB players need to start signing shorter contracts. You're able to go, consistently get more money if you, of course, continue to play well. So there is some risk, but I don't see why even the younger guys don't take some of these contracts, because, again, if you know you're really that good and you really believe in yourself, just take shorter deals. And then once you feel confident enough, go get that long deal like, Juan Soto, Mike Trout, Bryce Harper, et cetera, et cetera. Regardless, there's a lot to talk about with this one, because the Mets completely swooped in and just ruined the Philadelphia Phillies plans. Now, I want to say this. If you're watching me for the first time, I am a Phillies fan, so this will be from a Phillies fan perspective. But again, I just wanted to at least touch on the deal first before we get into the Phillies, because again, I think the Mets did a good job of doing this. Yes, did they want Kyle Tucker? Of course. But Cohen saw that, hey, the Dodgers foiled my plans, so I'm going to go foil someone else's plans. And they got Bichette. You still make a splash. You get a guy that can hit very well. I mean, he hit .310 last year. It's a guy that consistently gets on base. Yes, the Mets need to do a few other things, in my opinion, to still improve their team. I think they still need to go get a guy in the outfield. And honestly, you need to continue to go get more starting pitching. But still, getting Bichette is not a negative. He's going to go play at third base. Curious to see how the infield works. But overall, I can't hate on it. As a Phillies fan, it was a great move for the Mets. And again, you steal him. And look, yes, you have to pay a lot of money. You end up paying $42 million for him, and we'll get into what the Phillies offered in just a sec. But still, he can opt out if he doesn't want to. So there is some risk. But at the same time, if he continues to play well there, and again, it's not like the Mets can't offer this guy money. Really, the only team that might be able to outbid them is L.A., and I don't know if he's going to want to go to L.A., so we'll see how things go. But overall, I think it was a solid move for the Mets. Now let's get into this from the Phillies' perspective. As a Phillies fan, all of a sudden, I think it was sometime last week, we hear that the Phillies are interested in Bichette. I was like, okay, I mean, Bichette was not on my radar going to Philly, but I'll take it. And then momentum just really, really started to move in Philadelphia's direction. Oh, the Phillies are clear favorites for Bichette. On the 12th, which was on Monday, they go and meet with him on a Zoom meeting. Apparently it goes very well. Again, the Phillies are favorites after this. They just got the bench coach from Toronto. I'm blanking on his name. Don Mattingly? Yeah. He apparently has a great relationship with Bichette. Little did we know that Bichette was just playing us the entire fucking time. He was just playing us the entire time. And again, I can't hate on Bichette for it, because he's just getting his money. This is probably what his agent told him to do. Obviously, it's going to be fuck you though when he comes to the league. But at the same time, or when he comes to the league, when he comes to Philly, but at the same time, look, I can't hate on it from a money perspective. It just sucks when you're on the receiving end of it. And this is where I start to get frustrated with the Phillies, because what are you going to do? How are you pivoting from this move? The Phillies apparently offered a 7-year, $200 million deal for Bichette. But again, as I explained in the beginning, it makes more sense for him to go take the Mets deal, because he can just opt out and then continue to make more money in the long run. Why would I ink myself in a 7-year deal where I'm set to make $28 million or $28 million a year? Obviously a ton of money, but I can continue to make more money. So it just feels like the Phillies' strategy is outdated. It's starting to become outdated. And we can see this now on the team. How many of these guys are locked up on these long contracts? It's just so long, and I'm honestly not a fan of them, because we all know how this is going to go in the future once these guys start to fall off. But it just seems like the Phillies don't want to offer these opt-outs, because I don't know if, Middleton doesn't want to pay up on the tax. I'm not sure what he wants to do, but he doesn't want to do these opt-outs like Cohen and the Dodgers. And it's just really frustrating as a fan, because the way this is looking, we're just running it back. We're just running it back again. Yes, you got Schwarber back. We needed him back, obviously. But then right after the Bichette news goes out, JT Realmuto signs back for a 3-year, $45 million deal. Am I mad about this? No, because I know we needed JT back. I wanted him back on a 2-year deal. But really what puts a little bit of an ugly taste in my mouth is just the Phillies had an offer for this guy for a freaking month. They had it for a month, and he didn't take it because he wanted to play the market. And, JT, you're 34, and no one was interested. So he comes crawling back to Philly. And it just seems like the vibes are not very high right now for the Philadelphia Phillies because, again, they were just running it back. They didn't make any real changes with the lineup at all. And it's not like this lineup was bad, but we all know there needs to be a change. There was no one added to the outfield. Now we'll see if they get Bellinger, but I don't see that happening. And it's just really frustrating, again, as a Phillies fan because you're telling me I have to be excited about this team that also now has lost Ranger Suarez and is going to lose Nick Castellanos. Not that Nick Castellanos was good last year, but still, that's another bat down. Like, it's just an aging core that's getting older. And I will make a video at some point about the Phillies because we have a lot of time to, preview them and everything. But it just feels like there's a question about every single guy heading into this year. And that goes on both the offensive end and the pitching end. It's just very frustrating. And again, you got punked by the Mets. You got punked by the Mets. Out of all teams, you got punked by the freaking Mets. It just was such an awful moment yesterday when I go and check my phone and see that he's going to the Mets. The Mets weren't even in the conversation all week. All I'm hearing is the Phillies are going to get him, and the Phillies wanted to stretch this deal out. They couldn't get it done. Maybe it was more Bichette's camp that was stretching it out. But at the end of the day, the Phillies did not close. They did not close. And now, again, when I look at this, yes, the Phillies are big spenders, but you're not willing to do the opt-out, which means that L.A. and New York, they have more of a say when it comes to free agency, and that's just the way it's going to be unless you want to start paying up a little bit more dough to handle these opt-outs. So again, congrats to the Mets. They sweeped in. You stole him from us. Good for you. We'll see how long he stays there, but he's a great player. I really can't get mad at the Mets at all for doing that. And again, Phillies, you guys got to start, considering what is the play here? Can you even pivot here? Because this is going to be a really, really hard sell for the fans heading into the spring. But that's all I had on this one. Just wanted to talk about it because it was quite the bombshell yesterday. And if you'd like this video, feel free to give it a like. Definitely let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. If you're interested in any type of baseball content, feel free to subscribe. I'm going to be continuing to break down any really, really big baseball stories and just overall the MLB season as we get closer to the spring. My TikTok will be in the description down below. And if you made this far in the video, I greatly, greatly appreciate you. And I will see you guys on the next one. Peace, guys.